Please sit in a comfortable meditation posture and close the eyes. Put your attention on that silence that's always there deep in the mind. Connect with that deep inner silence. This is the silent witness. This is your opening to the eternal now. Become the silent witness. You are the silent witness. Now listen to the words of the Yoga Vasishtha. Continuing with book 5. We're on chapter 17, verse 27. Do not give room to thoughts of your bondage or liberation in the world, or of the embodiment or release of your soul here. Think the resolving worlds to be a magic scene and preserve perfect tranquility of your mind. Know all this as an illusion. Only ignorance presents the false appearance of tranquility of your mind. Yet we take them for true. As you see water in the burning sunbeam. In a desert. The unobstructed, uniform and all-pervading silent witness can have no restriction or bondage. What is unrestricted in itself cannot have its release. Lack of true knowledge presents the false view of the world before us. Knowledge of truth disperses the view. Just as the knowledge of the rope dispels the false appearance of the snake in it. You have known the true essence of your being by your right discernment. Thereby, you are free from the sense of your personality and are set free as the subtle air. You have known the truth and must give up your knowledge of untruth, together with the thoughts of your friends and relatives, all which are unreal in their natures. Such being the case, you must consider your soul as something other than those, and that you have received your soul from the supreme source of all. This soul is your silent witness. It is the silent witness. It bears no relation to your friends or your possessions or to your good or evil actions or to anything whatsoever in this world. When you are convinced that this very soul, a silent witness, constitutes your essence, you have nothing to fear from the false appearance of the world, which is no more than a misconception. You can have no concern for the well-being or grief of a friend or foe who is not born. So too, for you, for everyone being born for himself, you have no cause for joy or grief for anybody. If you know that you have been before the creation and that you shall be so forever afterward to eternity, you're truly wise. If you're troubled so much with concern for friends in this life, then why not mourn for those who are dead and gone in your present and past lives? If you were something other than what you are now, and if you have to be something different in the future, why then should you sorrow for what does not have its self-identity? If you are to be born no more after your past and present births, then you have no cause for sorrow. Being extinct yourself in the silent witness. Therefore, there is no cause for sorrow in anything that occurs according to the course of nature. Instead, be joyful, pursuing the duties of your present life. Do not indulge the excess of your joy or grief that preserve your equanimity everywhere. By knowing the silent witness pervades all, know yourself to be the form of infinite spirit, stretching wide like the extended vacuum, and that you are the pure eternal light, the focus of full brightness. Know your eternal and invisible soul is distinct from all worldly substances, a particle of that universal soul which dwells in and stretches through the hearts of all bodies, like the unseen thread running through the holes and connecting the links of a necklace. you learn from the unlearned that the continuation of the world is caused by the reproduction of what has been before. Not so from the learned who know that the world to be nothing. Know this and not that, and be happy in this life. The course of the world and this life is ever sending to decay and disease. Ignorance represents them to be progressing to perfection. But you who are intelligent know their real nature of frailty and unreality. What else can be the nature of error but falsehood? And what may be the state of sleep, except dreams and drowsiness? Who do you call your good friend? And who do you say is your great enemy? They all belong to the soul one and proceed alike from the divine will. Everything is frail and unsteady and has its rise and fall into the Supreme Spirit, the silent witness. It is like the wave of the sea, rising and falling from and into the same water. Worlds are rolling upward and going down again, like the axis and spokes of a wheel. The celestials sometimes fall into hell, and the denizens of hell are sometimes raised to heaven. Animals of one kind are regenerated in another form, and the people of one continent and island are reborn on another. The wealthy are reduced to poverty, and the poor are raised to wealth. All beings are seen to be rising and falling in 100 ways. Who has seen the wheel of fortune move slowly in one straightforward course forever? Not tumbling in its ups and down or turning to this side and that in its winding and uneven route. Fixedness of fortune is a fiction, like finding frost in a fire. Those who are called wealthy, with all fortune, position, friends, and relations, are seen flying away in a few days of this transient life. The thought of one's something becoming one's own or another, and for this and that man is mine, yours, this or someone else's, are as false as the appearance of double suns and moons in the sky. That this is a friend and this other is a foe. and that this is myself and this other one is another, are all only false ego conceptions of your mind. They must be wiped away. However, make it your pleasure to mix with the blinded populace and those who are lost to reason. Deal with them in your usual unaltered way. In your journey through this world, conduct yourself in such a manner that you do not sink under the burden of your cares of it. When you come to your reason, lay down your earthly cares and desires. Then shall you have that composure of mind that will exonerate you from all your duties and dealings in life. It is the part of low-minded men to reckon one as a friend and another as no friend. Noble-minded men do not observe such distinctions between man and man. There is nothing where I am not, and nothing which is not mine. The intellects of the wise are as clear as the spacious sky. There is no rising or setting of their intellectual light, which views everything as serenely as in the serenity of the atmosphere, and as plainly as the plain surface of the earth. Know, Rama, that all created beings are friendly and useful to you. And there is no person or thing in the world with which you are not related in some way. It is false to look upon anyone as a friend or foe. Among the various orders of created beings in the universe. In reality, each may be of help to you, however unfriendly they appear at first. Chapter 19. On family relationships, the story of Punya and Pavana. Vasishtha continued. I will now give you an example on the subject. The story of two brothers, born of a sage on the banks of the Ganges, where it flows in three directions. I've been talking about friends and enemies. So this wonderful tale from the past occurs to my mind. Hear this holy story. On the continent of Asia, there is a mountainous region surrounded by gardens and forests, with the high Mount Mahendra rising above the rest. It touched the sky with its lofty peaks, and its wish-fulfilling kalpa tree spread its shadow over the hermits and kinnaras that took shelter beneath it. The place resounded with the sound of sages chanting the Sama Veda as they passed from its caves and peaks to the regions of Indra. Fleecy clouds constantly drizzled rainwater from its 1,000 peaks, washing plants and flowers below. They appeared like tufts of hair hanging down from heaven to earth. The mountains echoed with the loud roar of impetuous right-legged Darabas, and with the thunder from the hollow mouths of its dark and deep clouds, like the world-destroying Kalpa cloud. The thundering noise of its cascades falling from precipice to precipice into its caverns would make the loud crashing of ocean waves blush by comparison. There on a tableland, upon the craggy top of the mountains, flowed the sacred stream of the heavenly Ganges for the ablution and drink of the hermits. There on the banks of the triple path river Ganges was a shining mountain, sparkling like bright gold and decorated with blossoming trees. There lived a sage named Drigatapa, who was a personification of meditation and a man of enlightened understanding. He had a noble mind and was accustomed to the austerities of tapas. This sage was blessed with 2 children, as beautiful as the full moon. They were named Punya, notorious, and Pavana, holy. And they were intelligent, as the sons of Brihaspati, who are known as the 2 Kachas. Virgatapa lived with his wife and their 2 sons on the bank of the river amid a grove of fruit trees. In course of time, the children arrived at the age of discretion. Punya, the elder of the 2, was superior to the other in all his merits. The younger boy, Pavana, was half awakened in his intellect, like the half-blown lotus at the dawn of the day. His lack of intelligence kept him from knowing the truth and the certainty of his faith. In the course of all-destroying time, the sage came to complete 100 years, and age and infirmity reduced the strength of his body and his long life. His vitality decrepit He bade farewell to his desires in this world, so frail and full of 100 fearful accidents to human life. At last, the old devotee Drigatapas left his mortal frame in a cave of that mountain, like a bird quitting the old nest forever, or a water-bearing song-bearer laying down the burden from his shoulders. Now let's continue, established as the silent witness, and perform Trimana Sanyama on the esoteric Mahamantra to balance all karmic traces that have been touched upon by today's reading. Jai Gurudev.